if I think about the macro overall, and I think about performance and stock returns, the place where I always come back to at the end of the day is what's happening with earnings, right? We have exited a period of stellar outperformance, particularly in large cap growth, particularly in the Magnificent Seven technology stocks. But what about the rest of the market? If we look at large cap, mid cap, small cap, and we look at the growth in earnings per share, a couple things were really going to stand out to you. One, small cap has continued to be an underperformer, both in terms of the stock performance, but really fundamentally because earnings growth just hasn't been there. It's been 3 or 4 quarters that we've been expecting earnings per share growth to finally happen in small cap, and that has really taken a long time to materialize. Part of the reason we saw more pronounced small cap earnings recession is many of these businesses have more leverage and typically variable rate debt, which means floating interest rates, where they saw their interest rates go up and that hurt their earnings. These companies also were less able to pass on price increases from inflation. They were also negatively impacted by higher labor costs in a way that larger companies were more able to navigate. So it kind of makes sense when you see that their earnings growth has been not as good as that of large and mid cap. However, they have a nice low bar of expectations where they've had 2 years of earnings declines. So for them, showing earnings growth in 2025 should be theoretically easier. If we think about mid cap, it's sort of in between the two, where we see growth and good growth opportunities for them, perhaps not as good as that of small cap, but still quite good. And large cap, now it's the law of large numbers where they're having to overcome the great growth that they've demonstrated, particularly, again, that small subset of technology that's had pretty explosive growth. And so for them, the expectations for earnings is a little bit lower than what you would still see in small cap. Now, again, these are forward expectations. If you're following earnings estimates, you'll see that they'll change not just quarter to quarter, but even within a quarter. And so this is not a guarantee, but this is kind of the setup that we're seeing going into 2025, where there is a hope that we'll see better small cap earnings growth, and we still see good, solid, robust growth for mid cap and large cap. The question is what will be the impact of Trump's regulatory policies? What will be the impacts of tariffs? And how should we think about that and incorporate that?